Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. This is my top 10 list for the year. Technically, the films that were released between January 1st and December 15th, because I'm on a break the last couple of weeks. Hopefully, you'll get some great movies at the end of the year, but I won't be seeing them right now. So here's my list in the order of the film's release date. Mercury. We had to wait till the end of April almost to see something ambitious, something truly authouristic. Karthik Subbaraj's silent movie with freaky sound design by Kunal Rajan turned out to be his most fun, most accessible outing since Pizza. It wasn't just a genre thriller, but an emotional horror movie with a touch of eco-activism. In other words, goodbye to the dense layers and intricate textures of Iraivi and Jigar Tanda, but the superlative filmmaking, that's still intact. How will this cheerfully idiosyncratic filmmaker transfer his sensibilities to the necessities of a massy Rajinikanth movie? That may be the most interesting question of 2019. Oru Kuppai Kadai. What if Engeyo Ketta Kural, the 1980s Rajinikanth Radha Ambika movie, was made in a less judgmental era? You'd get this morality tale by Kali Rangasamy, which shows a surprising amount of compassion to its heroine, who leaves her kindly sanitation worker husband and begins to live with a software dude. I wish the film had extended similar empathy to the city folks who end up laughably simplistic, but given the sickening moralism in Tamil cinema, this must count as progress. The film begins with the line, "To err is human," and it ends with the line, "To forgive is divine." That it applies to both the hero and the heroine sounds like equality to me. Asuravadam and Thimiru Pudichavan, I'm clubbing both these movies together. These are joyous B movies and they show what is lacking in the mass movies made by big directors with bigger name stars. Marudha Pandyan's Asuravadam is a series of mind games centered on a strong and silent protagonist. And Ganesha's Thimiru Pudichavan is about a cop with serious issues. Both films have a refreshing sense of self-awareness and they try very hard to make the action cliches seem less like cliches. Pyar Prema Kadal. As much as I like 96, which is coming up later, this Yuvan Shankar Raja production was for me the year's best romance. Director Ilan takes the story of a middle-class boy and an upper-class girl and transforms the whole thing into a more realistic Selvaraghavan movie. These people aren't archetypes. They are people you would find at work or in the house next to yours, and the film feels like life. Ilan is one of the very few Tamil filmmakers who not only respects women but really gets them. The character played by Raisa Wilson is a really beautiful character, wonderful mix of Indian roots and Western sensibilities. The film's advertising made me think it's a disposable rom-com, but there's genuine emotion at work here. Merku Thodarchi Malai. Lennon Bharati's moving drama is filled with painterly shots, say a black tall screen lighting up slowly as the door opens, but the film's meaning, real meaning, rests in the series of wide shots that show people dwarfed by their unforgiving surroundings. I wish for some bit of variety in the emotions in the non-professional cast, but it's a very small complaint in the face of the film's larger achievements, like its use of time. When nothing seems to be happening, time crawls, but when a lot of stuff seems to be happening, it's all compressed, like sometimes in a song. The narrative thus gets demarcated into two tracks, the documentary-like, that is the timeless, and the drama, which is time-bound. It's beautiful. Manjagar Ulagam. Manoj Bida's Whodunit wears its retro cool like a second skin. The writing, combined with Anthony's sensational editing, moves between the past and the present and also to parallel events. It's thrilling, and yet in a way the director desensationalizes the thriller. Instead of edge of danger scenes, we get mundane repetitions. Instead of slowly sharpening crime drama, we get something more diffused, more existential. The understated cinematography is filled with classy wide shots and natural light which contrasts the murky indoors with the happening outdoors. I wish the second half had lived up to the first half, but with this kind of style, I didn't really mind. Pariyerum Perumal. year's best film by a distance, Mari Selvaraj provides a compassionate counterpoint to the cinema of Pa Ranjit, and yet the anger is still intact. In Ranjit's films, the awakening comes through external forces. This is a far more internal film. It feels more personal, like reading someone's diary. The helplessness and the humiliation the protagonist experiences aren't a one-note beat. This is a remarkably level-headed drama that tackles both the without and the within. That is, even as we are oppressed, we can sometimes end up oppressing ourselves. As a nice boy who transforms into an angry young man, Kadir gives an extraordinary physical performance, the year's best. In his close-ups, he takes us right into his character's soul. 96. You know, in a way, I'm very grateful for this film and Vada Chennai and Rachasan, because they show that long narratives are still going to be watched by the audience as long as something sustains them. And that something in this touching anti-romance by C. Prem Kumar is the refreshingly low-key nature of the happenings. It would have been easy to get emotional and sentimental with each what could have been moment between the protagonists Ram and Janaki, but the film earns our tears the right way with its Paraya Vasanai, what the heroine refers to as a scent of nostalgia. At a time when editors get panicky and jettison entire scenes from the narrative or keep hypercutting between frames, it's very refreshing to see a film that turns wallowing and lingering into an art form. Rachasan. And the serial killer thriller has an unpromising beginning, and the ending is not too great. It just keeps going on and on. But the midsection is filled with a series of superbly staged and superbly edited set pieces. At times I was watching this movie slit-eyed. The motive behind the murders is underwhelming, but Gibran's score is terrifically unnerving, and the director Ram Kumar teases the borders of his UA rating with images that kind of crawl into the realm of the A rating. Like the image of a claw hammer positioned under the chin of a petrified girl. The image crawls into your eyeballs and gnaws at your brain. Vada Chennai. All Anbu wants is to become a champion carom player, but life intervenes and he turns into a gangster and finally a savior. From this slender thread, Vetrimaran weaves a glorious tapestry of violence and loyalty and poetic justice, imagining life as a carom board with every move causing ricochets and hits. The biggest problem is that a much longer film has been condensed to fit a 3-hour running time, but the classic set pieces, especially the jaw-dropping interval action block, more than compensate. This is the classic case of the parts being so much greater than the whole that savoring these parts become its own kind of satisfaction. And now for some honorable mentions. Again, in the order of release, I'm going to start with Tanasi and the Kootam, which was one of the year's better hero-oriented outings. The action overdose at the end is sickening, but Surya is in really good form, and Vignesh Shivan's light-hearted take on the Shankar template is very gallery pleasing. It's the kind of film that you wish more big stars would make. Savarakatti, I kind of like this bizarre movie because it plays like a black comedy variation on a regular Mishkin movie. It's directed by his brother G.R. Aditya. The exaggerations and the playful editing hark back to the days of silent cinema, even if the film is more interesting to analyze than to actually stay invested in consistently. Then we have Pa Ranjit's Kala, which is a far better fit between the sensibilities of its star and director than the earlier outing Kabali. It has so much packed into it that the glaring screenplay flaws don't make it any less interesting to write about or mull over. This is a movie that we're going to be talking about for a very long time. And finally, Vasant's very moving Sivaranjaniyam Innum Sila Pengalum. It's not a theatrical release, which is why it didn't make it to the list above, but if it's playing at a film festival near you, do make it a point to watch it. That's it from my end, video-wise this year. Have a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year from all of us at Film Companions South. Do keep watching.